So anyway, the second question that he had was about harmonics, how to integrate them tastefully into my playing. I guess, Paul figures that, his harmonics just, they're not really coming out where he wants to come out. Now, another reason why this question kind of jumped out at me here is because, any kind of embellishment technique that you're doing, whether it's slides, bends, hammer-ons, pull-offs, all that stuff, I think it's really important that you find some players or even some songs where that particular technique is done in a really, tasteful way to you, and then lift it off, learn it, and then begin kind of paying attention how to get that, embellishment into your own playing. Now, you may run into a few instances where maybe the guys in your band or something will say, like, geez, every time you do that, thing, you sound like Eddie Van Halen or whoever. That might be enough, to kind of hit you over the head to make you realize that you're copying your favorite player too much and you need to find your own voice in what you're doing. But that's how a lot of those different kind of embellishment techniques will, initially anyway, come into your playing and start getting integrated properly. Let's go to the next question here. Is from Adam. He's from Statesville, North Carolina. He wrote in, I play bass guitar, and I notice when I'm jamming that it takes me a while to feel out where everybody is playing unless I just cheat and look. I'd be screwed if I was ever playing with a piano player or a sax player. I can hold a rhythm while I'm trying to find the right notes, but it just seems like it takes me way too long. Any tips on developing this as a skill? Now, this is kind of not phrased exactly like this question, but this type of question with the answer that I'm going to give is really popular, because what this gets at, man, is a whole idea of ear training. And I know I'm always going on about ear training and how important it is to study ear training. I'll even put another link to this site that I really like promoting. It's called Tiara. Yeah, I'll put the link to it in the description box below the YouTube video here. But, aside from the basic ear training, one thing I wanted to bring up with this question is how important it is to do copyist work and transcription, and even with your band. Maybe one night, instead of having your regular band rehearsal, maybe just you and the singer, or you and the bassist and the singer or something, the keyboard player, whoever, you guys can get together, sit down, and chart out some of your tunes. Write out how that intro goes, how it moves into the verse, how the bridge section is set up, and make realizations about things about your songs. Because, I've done some work with students that have come into the studio here where, they'll say, I got this song and I'm working on with my band, and I'm like, well, okay, show it to me and let's, chart it out. And then we'll chart it out, and the guy will realize, that the song that he wrote is in like 3/4 or something. He wouldn't even have known that unless he went to work and started copying the tune out and charting it. So charting stuff out brings, I guess, the music, which is sort of an intangible thing. It's an auditory thing. You can't grab it, right? So it brings it into something kind of tangible. It gets it on a piece of paper in front of you and makes you think about it in different ways. And then you can begin manipulating your music more too. Maybe the start of the bridge section comes in on like an E major chord. Well, then you can try and manipulate that chord out a bit. Maybe try and make it dominant instead of major. Maybe try and make it a major 7 or a major 9. Maybe try and make it into some kind of sus idea like a E dominant 11th or something. But there's a lot of amazing things that start happening when you start doing some copyist work with your pieces. So keep that in mind. Now I got one more question, and this is a hugely popular question. I've been getting this for like months. Yeah, this one's from Fran in Ireland, writing in saying, what is the order that theory should be studied in, and are your lessons, your theory lessons, pardon me, in any particular order on your website? Well, I'm going to just prelude this with the fact that, there's probably a lot of people that would just say, theory is just one big ball of wax, and it doesn't matter how you learn it. You can learn it all haphazard and whatever. And there's probably some good truth to that as well. But when you look at it like a school or a studio that, like I run here, I had to create courses, and things are in an orderly sense. And I'm going to give you the rundown for the first level of theory of the way we teach it here at Creative Guitar. Now, you got to remember, this is sort of the first level of theory. So I'll try and see if I can get the time to actually type all this stuff into the description box below here. But let's start off with the first level of theory that we teach, in the order that we teach it here at the studio. And you can track out the videos off of the Creative Guitar Studio website, or just off my YouTube channel, to study, the order and sequence that you would want to move in, or at least the order that I decided that this stuff should be covered in through my studio. So first of all, what we start off with here is key signatures. We get into helping people understand exactly how key signatures operate. We give some different kinds of scenarios on how you can perceive them. And then from there, we move into the world of intervals. Then after intervals, we move into triad and construction. So we do major, minor, augmented, and diminished triads. Then we move into harmony of those triads, so how chords move in a harmonized sense. And we also talk about transposing. Then we move into taking those triads and doing chord inversion processes, like putting the third in the bass and the fifth in the bass. And at that time as well, we begin talking about diatonic substitution. Now, after that, we get into seventh chords and their inversions and their harmony. Then we move into the world of understanding key center, which really means how you'd be moving around a lot of times with keys and understanding how a key is established. So it kind of gets a little bit into modulating too, but mainly the key center thing is about how keys are established and how something is becoming, say, in the key of F major or G major or whatnot. After that, we get into harmonizing minor triads, and we talk about the minor side of things. We get into transposing minor harmony, and then we do minor key center work. Then we get into understanding the leading tone in minor, which is kind of a very unique concept there because it's introducing a major seventh into the world of minor. So that's where harmonic minor scale comes from, and also the seventh step of minor becoming raised and being diminished or diminished seventh. Now, after that, we get into diatonic substitution for those minor keys. Then we'll study a really cool topic called modal interchange. And with modal interchange, we're running two parallel keys, one major, one minor, and we're pulling different chords from one another to generate progressions that are kind of a blend of both. Then we get into the world of modes and their construction, and we do some discussions on what modes are all about and how they're used. Then we move into the world of secondary dominant chords and the variations that you can have with secondary dominants. Then we do a brief section on chromatic ideas. And then we'll move into extended chords after that. So we'll start talking about 9s, 11s, and 13s. And then finally, we wrap up our level 1 theory here with a look at keys that modulate. So the whole concept of modulation. And there's two types. There's pivot chord modulation and direct modulation. We'll get into discussions on both of those. Now, that's a lot of material, and for some folks out there, maybe you know most of it. And again, I should say a lot of this stuff I have up already. I've posted YouTube videos on the Creative Guitar Studio website and the YouTube channel for Creative Guitar that go through these. But in the future, we'll go into sort of level 2, which is going to get a little bit more involved because it's going to get more into jazz harmony and more contemporary ideas that get more advanced. But anyway, I got to wrap things up, and that's about all the time I have for. So thanks for watching, and thanks for sending in all the great questions. Thanks a million for a great 2010 year that we had on YouTube. It was fantastic. Just gained tons of subscribers and just an excellent year. So take care, and everyone have an excellent 2011, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.